From what does the term spirits get its name? Is it A, from the distillation process, B, from the increased anger a consumer gets, i.e. myself, whilst drinking the Morgan spiced rum, C, the belief in being visited by the dead, or D, because it gives you wings?
Welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast. Coming at you from the local 218 studios. I am Mayor David of the city of Brainerd, and with me, not as always, is a couple of freaking idiots.
Gonna have a bad time.
But not Scotty, not the councilman.
Yep.
Joining me this week, we're going to start on the far left, is my buddy Nick Weeks.
Well, see you later.
Nick, how are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Soccer season's up right now, so yeah.
Oh, coaching as well, yeah.
Yeah. Day 2 right now, so yeah.
Getting started. So the way we do this on the podcast is that I say you have 30 seconds to explain yourself. Go.
I'm Nick Weeks. I'm a videographer, photographer around the area, Grand Elbow number 30. I live in Brainerd. I grew up in Buffalo, but I love this area so much, and thank you so much.
Yeah, and Nick has been on the podcast before, so there you go. So then we're going to go like this. Also with us, listen, we like to bring people on that make pizza. With us.
People love pizza.
People do love pizza. Coming to us from the wonderful Giovanni's, Mr. Tim.
The frozen pizza, yep. Thanks for having me.
30 seconds, go.
30 seconds. Grew up here in Brainerd, do the frozen pizzas, local bars around town like Shep's here on 6th that we're sponsoring today. Love sports. Like beer.
Yeah? Well, that's good because we got a game that's maybe potentially booze related. So, all right.
Pretty good golfer, too.
And then lastly with us, and again, this is going to be just a clusterfuck of nonsense today. Lastly with me in the studio is the purveyor of my favorite watering hole, the younger version of the older version, Mr. Cody Shepard.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing, Cody?
I'm doing great.
How you doing, Cody?
Doing great.
30 seconds to explain yourself. Go.
I'm Cody Shepard. I'm 25 years old. I worked at Shep's on 6 for 7 years now.
My favorite color is blue.
My favorite color is blue. I'm about to get a new puppy in a couple weeks, so that's been keeping me occupied.
Okay, what kind of puppy? Go.
Golden Doodle.
Oh, doodles are the way to go.
Yeah.
I have a hard policy in our household. I am a animal lover, right? And my fiance is a vet tech. Actually, is a manager of a veterinary clinic. We have a hard rule: there are no dogs in the house, and not because I don't like dogs, but because I don't have time to properly be with the animal and make sure. Because the dogs need love.
Mayors are busy.
Mayors are busy. Listen, got a lot going on.
Yeah. Is it tough to have her not bring animals in?
She's constantly trying to bring animals in. The
Yeah.
one that I would allow is a Maine Coon. Have you ever seen Maine Coons? Maine Coons are cats that are built to be on the snow, so they got these giant feet.
They look like little leopards.
But they're huge. They are the size of a medium dog. I would allow that. I would also allow, fun fact about Dave Badeaux, I would also allow a rabbit that is potty trained and just hangs out in the house without having a cage or anything.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you come to my house and you sit down and all of a sudden a rabbit jumps on your lap, now we're having conversations.
I used to have a pet rabbit as a kid.
Yeah, I took care of a pet rabbit.
Froze to death in the winter.
Hey.
Wow.
Well, Cody's
It's not going to happen to the puppy, though.
No, not going to happen to the puppy.
Yeah, Cody's 30 seconds are up. So the reason why these gentlemen are joining me, we actually have, I will be bringing my daughter down to the U of M. She's starting school in a couple weeks. So I needed an extra episode to fill in. We just got done, look behind the curtain a little bit, just got done recording an episode with the regular crew. You guys are coming in because last year, and I believe it was just last year, I don't think we've done it 2 years, we've done it last year. We had Nick on to come and talk about elbow convention. We thought, why the hell not? Why don't we bring Nick back? Why don't we bring last year's winner of the Grand Elbow, and then why don't we bring the man that owns the damn place as well? So give you guys a quick second to just give a spiel. Don't go too long because not everybody knows what Shep's is, but give a quick spiel about what we're doing for the Elbow Convention. What is Elbow Convention, and why we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, and so I'll start kicking off. You guys pop in when you can here. So we're having Elbow Convention. Is a 2-day fun little cover band deal coming right at Shep's in the alleyway there, where we're sort of celebrating all the Loyal Order of the Elbow members. Plus, we are going to we're going to announce the next Grand Elbow. And we just reached an Elbow members, what was?
22,700.
And that is bigger than most cities, like big cities. We are bigger than most big cities. That's what our Elbow members
The
are.
mayor should know the population of his town, right?
His population of Brainerd sits under 14,000 just about always.
The
double.
Loyal Order of the Elbows outnumber them. So anyways, we're inviting all those people to come back, dead, live, whatever you are, come on back and see the concert. It is $10 for 1 day, $15 for 2 days. And we have all the booze and beer and everything that you can drink. August 25th, 26th, 8:30 to 8:30 in the afternoon. Gates open at 5. 12:30, we close the party down.
So I don't know if you know this or not, but the afternoon closes itself out about evening. There's morning, then there's noon, then there's afternoon,
Yep.
then there's evening,
Yep.
and then there's what's often referred to as night.
Oh.
I would argue 8:30 is not in the afternoon, but that's just me. I may be incorrect.
I'd call that evening.
Yeah, I would call that evening for sure. Yeah.
I suppose with your work schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So super fast,
Yep.
we'll chat just a little bit about what Elbow Convention is and what Grand Elbows are. But we're going to do that after we go ahead and do something, which is we're going to play a game, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone knows what time it is.
Game time. Who?
Oh, that was the most painful
struggle there
experience
for you,
I've had in a long
First
time.
try every time.
Yeah, so because you gentlemen are joining me based off of a booze event is what I would call it, and because I have an owner of the bar here, we're going to play a little game, and this game is called That's the Spirit. And this is a alcohol brand trivia game. Ooh. So a while back, I was consuming beverages many years ago now because I actually don't drink anymore. And I was surprised at where a specific kind of booze was made. And it stuck out to me because it didn't seem like that's where it would be from. And so that has always stuck with me. And so I've always wanted to do a game like this where we go into some facts about booze, not getting into like so much when did alcohol start. You know, if you want to get into that, you're going back 8,000 years essentially. And probably before that, monkeys picked up fermenting fruit and got a little high. And then we slowly figured out, you know what, we can probably reproduce that without just finding rotten fruit.
Yeah.
So this is a game that is specifically about brands and or where they're from. And then some extra questions thrown in together. Now, on the podcast, we have a very specific rule, okay? We are going to play through the game. We eventually will have a semi-final round and then a final round. The winner will be selected. Once the winner is selected, I will look at you and I will say something to your fans. When I say something to your fans, you must say hello and congratulations. If you do not say hello and congratulations, I am the winner and you lose. So even if you win the game, the very last thing again, you have to say hello and congratulations. Otherwise, I am the winner and we all laugh at you. So are you prepared for that?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to start right away with this. Cody, you are going to go first just because you're on my left.
If you don't win this, I'm not sure what we're doing in life.
I've never been a good trivia player, but we're going to give it a shot.
But do you know a lot about the booze and where, like, or does just CNL and D&D just come in and just drop it off?
I know some.
Not
as much as I probably should.
I would say that I tried to make this so that it's not something that you would feel offended by not knowing as someone that's always behind the bar. Because as someone who has bartended for many years, not all of this is just something you would readily know. And actually, I think some of it's kind of surprising, which is why we're doing it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you correct? Again, That's the Spirit. And we're going to get started. So the very first question, this is, from what country was the brand Captain Morgan originated from? And the multiple choice answers are A, Jamaica, B, Cuba, C, Miami, or D, the Mighty Sea.
I am
And
first.
Cody's going to go first.
Cody's gonna go first. All right.
I'm going to go ahead and guess Jamaica.
He says Jamaica. Over to Tim.
Ooh. Oh, I can pick the same thing.
You can pick the same
Oh,
thing. Yeah,
I'm-
absolutely.
I'm piggybacking off Cody.
Going to Jamaica as well.
It's Jamaica.
It is Jamaica. He says, no Cuba? No Cuba? Okay.
Nope.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but
cigars.
2 of those were not countries.
Yeah.
So technically Miami is not a country.
So technically, Messi lives in Miami, which is a country now.
Congratulations.
He's making it a
It's whole new
country.
Congratulations. The correct answer is A, Jamaica. Now, what happened was actually in 1944, the Ingram's Company bought the Long Pond Distillery from Jamaica, and Captain Morgan charmed his way in the bottle. So it essentially isn't necessarily from there, but it originated from them buying a distillery from Jamaica, and then that whole entire concept. And that's why they decided to go with the figure of a pirate captain. If you had to guess, do you think that, and this is not for actual points, but do you think that Captain Morgan was an actual guy?
Oh, I've heard this before.
Yes.
I'm sure there was a captain named Morgan once.
Yeah. No shit. No shit.
I'm covering my.
Wow.
How do you feel about Admiral Nelson?
I have a shot.
Which I don't even think Admiral Nelson is available anymore, is it? Because I believe they won a lawsuit on it. Yeah. So, Sir Captain Morgan was actually an individual from the pirate days, late 1600s, I believe. Okay. So, bonus
He was
question.
a nice guy, though.
Bonus question over to Tim. What is the predominant flavor paired with the rum that is in Captain Morgan? The spiced rum. What is the predominant flavor?
I honestly have no idea.
You got
But I
no
know
idea.
it
Okay.
tastes
He's a beer drinker.
Yeah.
He's a beer drinker. You got no idea. All right.
I mean, I was going to say Coke, but I
gonna
don't
say
think that's what you're looking for.
That's actually a pretty good answer. If you had to guess, what flavor?
It's vanilla.
He says vanilla. Over to Cody.
Vanilla.
It is actually vanilla. I'm really surprised by
Wow.
that. I was
Yeah.
surprised by the idea that it was vanilla. I had never thought about that.
I didn't know that until they recently came out with the new label. And
So
on the
yeah.
new label, it
There you
says
go.
with, I think it says Madagascar vanilla.
Madagascar vanilla. That's why I brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in 2023, they just changed the label, and now it is made with Madagascar vanilla. So there you go. See,
Yeah.
you're points ahead already.
2 for 2.
I went through a phase of drinking it, and then I was like, God, am I drinking like vanilla Coke? And
Yeah.
that's how I started.
Yeah.
I just went back to the days and I go, what does it taste like?
Yeah, it's crazy to me that is vanilla flavored. Now it makes sense to me. It just always tastes really sweet. I actually used to drink it. That was my go-to drink for years from college. And then I realized that it made me really angry and fight people. So I had to stop.
Yeah,
I don't know what spiced in there, but evidently
At least you realize that a lot of people don't
Madagascar
realize certain things make them angry when they drink.
Yeah.
well, you can only get a black eye so many times before you realize, hey, it's probably me.
Yeah.
So, I used to run my mouth a lot. And I actually went through a period of time. This is a true story.
Yeah.
18 months. I got a black eye every 6 months for 18 months, where it was like just as the black eye was going away, because it tends to stick around a little bit. And I got this thing we call the McFarland eye, where I've got these freaking black things to begin with. So the super fun fact about that, the third time I got the black eye was my brother Scott. He actually we were wrestling around and he just punched me in the face.
He had enough of you.
He did.
Yeah.
That's exactly, well, most people do.
Yeah. You had a little captain, yeah.
Okay, so the score as it stands right now is 2 points to Cody, 1 point to Tim, 2 points to Nick. On to our
Suck
next
it, Tim.
question.
Don't call it a comeback.
This is Crown Royal. And we're going to go with Nick on this one first. Nick, Crown Royal. Which is the country of origin for Crown Royal? Is it A, the United Kingdom, B, Scotland, C, Canada, or D, the good old US of A?
I'm gonna go with England.
It's going with England. Over to Cody.
I'm going to go with Canada.
He's saying Canada, and over to Tim.
Not
it.
piggybacking. I knew it was Canada.
You knew it was Canada. All right.
Confident.
I am.
The correct
don't call it comeback.
answer is Canada. Cody taking a commanding lead, but Tim right there with Nick
How'd you
for
know
second
that?
place.
Canadian whiskey.
It is Canadian whiskey, and I don't know if everybody knows that it's Canadian whiskey.
Probably not.
So Crown Royal was introduced in 1939, and he was the president of Seagram's, and it was as a tribute to the royal tour of Canada by King George VI and his wife, Queen Elizabeth. And yeah, so it started off in 1939. It was only in Canada until 1964 when it was finally introduced into the U.S. So yeah, pretty crazy. It's so
Crown Royal.
quite literally Crown Royal.
Huh.
No. For the king and the
Yeah.
queen. All right. Question number 4, and this is one of my favorite ones. Which of the following is not a German brand of alcohol?
Ooh, this is a great
And
question.
I think we're back to Cody. Is it Jägermeister? Is it Rumpelmintz? Is it Goldschlager? Or is it Schwarzhag-Kratenlüke? Schwarzhag-Kratenlüke.
I'm going to guess Jägermeister.
He says Jägermeister. Over to Tim.
I'm going to go with Rumpelmintz.
Going with Rumpelmintz.
Which one isn't like?
Which one is not German?
Oh boy. I'm going to piggyback off Tim. At least we can be tied. Rumpelmintz.
You're going to go with Rumpelmintz as well. So I can assure you that it is not Kratenlüke. Kratenlüke, which I know I'm saying wrong, is actually a type of alcohol. Schwarzhag is the brand of it. Jägermeister is absolutely a German brand, as is Rumpelmintz. The
We're all wrong.
correct answer is Goldschlager. This entire game is based off of this question. So the Goldschlager was originally produced in Switzerland until the 1990s. The brand was acquired by Diageo, which is a huge brand that owns basically everything. That's an English brand. And they moved it to Italy. And then in 2008, Global Brands of the UK purchased the brand. And it says it returns it to Switzerland, but the whole reason I know this and the whole reason that I was interested in doing this was that I looked at a bottle of Goldschlager one time and it said Italy. And I said, what the fuck is that? Like, of all the places, Italy.
Italy.
Yeah. Product
Guess they were
of,
just happy with their wine.
Yeah.
All right, let's branch out.
it just doesn't seem Italian to me at all. There's nothing in that bottle that says Italian.
No.
Yeah. Including the gold.
Yeah.
No gold. Never seen an Italian with gold ever.
Did you hear about people taking Goldschlager and like straining
Yes.
out the liquid
gold flake?
and then
Yes.
taking the gold flakes and bringing them in for money?
Yes.
And gold was at a price where you could buy another bottle.
I have a hard time believing that whatsoever.
There's a lot of gold in there though.
I have a hard time believing that. All right, so we are coming up on the last question before the semifinal round. This will determine who goes on to the final round, and this is a question that maybe you know, maybe you don't. But absinthe has been believed to be around since back in the 1550 BC era. So they found it on papyrus scripts located in Egypt. They were talking about wormwood, I believe it is, and so there's this assumption that this type of thing has been around since that long ago. But where did the modern version of the Green Fairy originate? And I believe we're on to Tim again.
Tim.
So
Mom spaghetti here.
The question is absinthe. The options are A, Poland, B, Russia, C, France, or D, Switzerland.
Ooh. Seems like something Russians would do. Never count them out for anything.
You're telling me. Getting goofy. Over to Nick Weeks.
We can't end in a tie to go to the final round. I thought Russia right away, so I'm just going to put that out for public.
Okay.
I'm going to go Switzerland.
He's going to go Switzerland. And over to Cody.
I'm going Russia.
He says Russia. Wow, it's just Russia, Switzerland. The correct answer is D, Switzerland.
Nice job, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very interesting because absinthe came back around in Switzerland and then it actually didn't become extremely popular until it became popular in France in the 19th and early 20th century. So a lot of people think that it is a French, horrible tasting. I don't know if you've ever had actual absinthe.
Never had it.
It is
No.
horrific.
I've only heard bad stories about it.
Yeah, the Green Fairy, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God.
All right, so Nick, you get a point there. However, I'm going to make you face off against Tim because you are tied with Cody to go in the final round. However, because you scored last, you're going to go against Tim to see who goes into the final round as well. And with this one, Only one person can answer first, but since Nick, you have the most points, you're going to get that opportunity here.
Dang right.
So if there are 4 options here, if for some reason neither one of you gets it correct, I will give Nick a second chance to start again, and then you'll, of course, Tim, be stuck with the last answer.
Which might be a
I
good
already
thing.
like that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of fairies,
Oh yeah.
and I don't mean Nick, from what does the term spirits get its name? Is it A, from the distillation process, B, from the increased anger a consumer gets, i.e. myself, whilst drinking the Morgan spiced rum, C, the belief in being visited by the dead, or D, because it gives you wings?
Ooh, one's a Red Bull slogan right there. I'm gonna go with C.
He's going with C. And over to Tim. Again, what does the term spirits get its name from?
We'll go with A.
He's saying A, from the distillation process. The correct answer, and going on to the final round, is, of course, A, the distillation process. So I don't know if you guys know how alcohol works, like how it's actually made. You have the fermenting of fruit or grain or anything involving sugar, essentially, with yeast, and that will produce X amount of alcohol, right? At some point, though, you can only get so much alcohol out of it, and then you have to distill it to basically reduce the water content from it. So what's happening is you're boiling it, the gas is releasing, and then condensing and forming back down into water, or in this case, booze. So what you're having is that release of the gas, which is the release of the spirit, which is where the term spirits come from.
Have you ever seen the video? I watched this video last night, kid you not, and this is all these like African, like this elephant and this giraffe eating all these fruit and trying to get home, and these monkeys trying to get home after eating this stuff. It's the greatest. Like, no animals got hurt, but it was the greatest video I've ever seen. You see these elephants like wandering. They're like, I'm just going down. They just take it easy. The giraffe one, oh my God. I can't imagine a guy on stilts being drunk, but that's what it looked like.
You say no animals got hurt, except for once the animals got home and the domestics started, then
Then one of them got hurt.
yeah.
And then they show them like the next morning, and the monkeys are just going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
What would be the worst animal to be around that's drunk? Go, Katie. Katie. Go, Cody.
Oh,
Got to go lion.
Lion. Okay. Drunk.
Yeah.
I think I'd prefer a drunk lion.
yeah.
Really?
I think I'd prefer him to be drunk.
Well, if he's
What if
mean-
they're angry?
Well, not off Captain Morgan. We know that.
Oh, hippo.
Hippos are the most violent
Right?
creatures on Earth.
And imagine just they have no idea what they're doing at that point. They're
Okay.
just,
Yeah, we could at least get away from it.
oh, I doubt it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go monkeys. They're just nuts. And guess what? They're gonna throw they're gonna bite you. That's gonna be all the worst things you want in a
Sure.
drunk person in one thing.
Sure. Chimpanzee would be the most frightening, I think. For some reason, a lion or a tiger seems like they'd be more chill. You know, like to me,
Yeah.
I feel like they'd be more stoned than they would be violent and aggressive, because they're just violent and aggressive to begin with.
Yeah. They're more like, man, I don't even want to do this, but I have to. Man, I don't want to kill you, but I got to eat at some point.
I'm sorry, I'm eating your face.
Yeah, sorry about your brother.
All right, enough of Nick Weeks. Let's shut his microphone off now. All right, so this is the final question. This is between Tim and Cody. Cody, you will get the first opportunity to go first. Again, this is multiple choice. There are 4 answers. If you both get it wrong, Cody, you will get the first opportunity again. Tim, you may be able to just swoop in again after he picks wrong, but I don't know. This ain't Nick Weeks.
No.
Yeah,
This is
you guys should
Cover
bet.
competition now.
You guys should bet a shot on this one.
Yeah.
It seems very only logical to do that.
All right.
Okay, but it's got to be a shot of the actual booze that I'm about to say.
Deal.
Oh, deal. That's a good one. Yes.
Well,
I was hoping it
Hope
was going to be that German one.
Captain.
that we can't pronounce.
All right, gentlemen, the final question for the championship round. The brand is Bacardi. And the question is, where did it originate? And your answers are A, Puerto Rico, B, Cuba, C, Mexico, or D, Miami. Cody, you get to go first here.
We're going to go Puerto Rico, and I hope I get this right because my uncle will kill me if I don't.
He's saying Puerto Rico. Over to Tim.
That was A, right?
Yeah.
That was A, Puerto Rico.
Then we'll go with Cuba.
He's saying B, Cuba. Ladies and gentlemen, with the upset of the century, the correct answer is B, Cuba.
Oh,
Tim has
Dang.
swooped in for the win.
Wow.
A bit of a trick question, I will say, though. However, Puerto Rico is currently where a lot of the Bacardi is produced. However, it originated in communist Cuba and then broke off. And I believe there still is a portion of it that is still in Cuba as well. However, most people think of it as being from Puerto Rico, but it was originated in Cuba.
Sometimes you just get lucky guessing.
Yeah?
Looks like we're drinking Bacardi now.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Tim, you have won the game. Go ahead and say something to your fans.
Oh, no. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you and congratulations is absolutely incorrect.
You are one pathetic loser.
Tim, you are the loser. I, of course, am the winner. Let the balloons fall down upon me. Let it be known that I brought 3 individuals on that have no idea what's going on. And I, of course, ended up being the winner. Man, can you imagine that that's the case? The correct answer, of course, is hello and congratulations.
Oh, no.
Can't tell me you remembered that, Nick.
No, I was thinking as I lost, I was like, thank God I didn't have to say that because I was like trying to remember that afterwards. I'm like, nope, not happening.
Oh, Sam, as soon as I won against you, I was like, oh, no.
It made you think too hard on that last question. You forgot about it.
Oh, I was thinking about it the whole time. While you answered, I'm like, okay, I think Cody's right. I'm like, perfect. I'm not going to have to answer this.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, that's the reason why we do it. So,
Yeah.
man, I am the winner. It doesn't happen often, ladies and gentlemen, but it happened today. Mark it on your calendar. I am the winner. So the reason why we do that, and we've said this to all of our listeners, they already know, but you guys get filled in as well. At some point during the podcast, I said, say something to your fans, and then proceeded to say hello and congratulations, and it's just stuck forever. That was one of our very first episodes, and it has stuck for years.
It has a good twist to the game.
Is it?
It is. You've got to pay attention. You've got to know. And to our listeners, they're waiting with bated breath. When it's one of our own members that wins, very small chance that it happens. I think I'm one of the only ones that have screwed it up since. So, of course,
Is there
that's what
merch
you
with
would
it?
say. Oh, there is definitely merch
I'd buy a shirt.
that you can get your hands
I think
on.
Tim would buy one just for reference for the next time he wins.
I think Tim should probably get one for free. Okay, so I know Nick, you got to get going here in a little bit, but let's just chat a little bit more about Elbow Convention. So to give people a full wrap up on what it actually is, Cody, do you want to give the spiel for it or?
Sure, I'll kind of start. You guys can kind of fill in with me,
Keep
but
it shorter than Pudley's.
okay.
It
shouldn't be too hard.
Pudley's, yeah.
So before we get started, what Grand Elbow are you, Tim?
I'm Grand Elbow 31.
Grand Elbow 31. Nick, you are?
I'm 30.
You are 30. I am 23. Grand Elbow 23.
And I'm honorary 30.5.
30.5.
Yeah.
So there have been 31 individuals plus a handful of extra honorary members that have been selected as essentially the Grand Poobah, if people want to go that way, for the bar. But give the rundown, give the spiel.
So Elbow Convention is basically a 2-day street dance outside in the alley at Shep's. We bring in a big stage, 2 big bands. All month of August, we have people campaign to become the next Grand Elbow. As of right now, we have 3 that are campaigning, so it's a good start. I think we might have one more coming in, but so yeah, people campaign to become the next Grand Elbow. The public gets to voice their opinion to the current Grand Elbow, or the past and current Grand Elbows, and then Saturday night we picked a new one.
Yeah. And this all, and so everybody thinks like, oh, the Grand Elbows pick. No, it's the last one. The last guy gets to make the decision of like this person, or this person.
Yes, and I will say this, Tim, not to put pressure on you, but we still make fun of one individual specifically for their selection. So, it's a very small group of people, and it's kind of the way that things are weeded out, right? The bartenders have a little bit of input to you, but ultimately it falls onto your shoulders. And when you fuck it up,
It's kind of like that game we just played.
kind of like the game
I knew
you
what
just
was
played.
happening.
I have a feeling.
it just came.
Yeah, then, it's going to hit the fan, but it's going to be your selection. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the pressure?
I'd say the three running candidates right now are all pretty qualified. They've become friends over the last year, witnessing them, just being at the bar, and So I don't think I can make a wrong choice.
So what makes somebody qualified?
Just enjoying Sheps.
Sure.
They enjoy Sheps, having cold drink with the bartenders, getting razzed on from the bartenders, owners.
Not being an asshat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the spirit of the bar is the biggest thing is that you look for. And I think Dave and I can definitely say when you go to pick is you're thinking about, okay, does this guy represent Shep and what this bar has been to the community and been to the people around here and what it's meant to people.
Yeah, I think part of it too is like, are they going to, one, take it serious enough to understand that it isn't you now need to be here every day. Are you going to have enough self-control to not be a complete lunatic about it as well? But then also it needs to be somebody that's there. It needs to be somebody that is, so that when, people want to sign up to become elbows, which maybe we should actually tell people what that is. Yeah. When people want to sign up to be a member of this unofficial club, that, potentially there's a grand elbow there to do so. Yeah. So how have you enjoyed doing the actual grand elbow part of it?
It's been a lot of fun. I guess I'm kind of a little bit of a social butterfly, I'd say, especially with a couple nice McGoldens in me. And when the bartenders are, hey, we got somebody sign up over there, really enjoyed, getting to know them. Like they have to sign in a sign-in sheet, town they're from. That's always interesting to see, like out-of-state ones, just some other random little, town from somewhere. Ask them, hey, how'd you find this place?
Yeah, so how many were we at now? 22,000, you said?
22,700.
22,700
Hopefully we can
people.
hit 23,000
over
convention.
Yeah, and this is a list that is essentially in notebooks, right? Like you sign your name, you have a number attached to you, you get your card with your stamp on it, stamp your elbow. 22,000 people have done that in the last 32 years.
Yeah, and just when the bar started, it didn't start with Shep. This club did not start with Shep, actually. It started with the previous owner. And I believe in 1996, we had 90 members. And just think about that, 90 members in 1996 to now we're at 22,700. That is insane.
Yeah, for me, the part that I've enjoyed the most of it is that there's a large group of people as well that, a lot of people that'll run will be of that 25-year age-ish. But then you think about it, you go forward 30 years and we've got members that are passing away now, right? Grand elbows that are passing away. And it's just an interesting dichotomy of people, we meet a couple times a year and just sit down and have a beer and have conversations about stuff. Certain individuals have a lot to say about various different things.
There's one in every crowd, right?
There's one in every crowd. Listen, though, to be fair, you kind of have to be a little bit outgoing in order to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of us have become mayors and settled down and maybe not been as hard of a partier. I will say this, and I don't talk about it much on the podcast or anything. I quit drinking, it'll be 3 years ago now in September. And the reason was I became the mayor over COVID. I got through to the end of summer, and then at one point I was in an establishment. I just had a drink in my hand, wasn't doing anything crazy, and some guy found out I was the mayor. He left and came back and had his phone flipped around and was recording me, and I just tipped my glass is all I did. I just acknowledged him by tipping my glass, and it got passed around enough to where it got back to my daughter, who was 15 at the time. And it just really resonated with me that if me just being in the bar, having a drink is enough to have multiple people pass that around to where it gets to other people, what happens when I actually fuck up? And there becomes a thing that I realize that if I screw up, it isn't the subheading isn't Dave Badeaux, podcast extraordinaire.
It's the mayor.
The headline is, and it's not just the mayor, it's mayor of Brainerd. And if I'm going to do all the work that I've done to try and make sure my city is in the best light, I can't put myself in a position where something like that can happen. And as somebody that I'll readily admit it, does not have an off switch. And you guys have probably seen it. I don't have an off switch. So if we're going, we're going. I just had to make that decision and not just for myself, but for everyone around me, just to make sure that we're all not looking at me in lockup.
And it's sort of like the mayor of Nisswa a couple years ago.
Oh,
when
yeah.
that was a bad look.
Bad look.
And you know what? That guy was immediately yeeted out of that position.
I didn't see what happened. So he ended up stepping down.
Yeah.
But he just had his court date
really
a couple months ago. Yeah. Not too long ago, because it went all the way to the full process. So for those of you listening, city 20 minutes north of us, their mayor got drunk and was out walking his dog, I think, of all things. And came up to a cop that was doing a traffic stop and just went off on this cop. Saying all this stuff. And it, of course, got recorded.
Yeah. You just try to trap people on this highway and and the guy goes off and you're like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Just go back home. The guy goes, leave. And he wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
But Dave, we're proud of you for doing that, though.
Yeah.
Just from that
it is,
takes
man.
a lot of guts to do something like that.
It needed to happen
Discipline,
anyways. But you've seen it now. I drink Diet 7-Up
Like it's water.
like it's wild. But that's the problem, Cody. That you replace that with beer, and that's how I I just consume. That's how I am. You can. We're going through 6 or 7 cans of diet soda in the time that I'm hanging out with people. So.
So if you ever stop being mayor, would you go back to drinking?
I don't know. I make no promises.
but
I'm an addict. I can say that. I'm smart enough about myself to know that I have an addictive personality.
Yeah.
But I don't make any promises. What I say is I didn't quit drinking. I just don't start.
Okay. Cool.
The more you know.
Yeah. No, but
It's a good way to look at it.
I was always interested in that because it takes a lot of guts to get there, and then what do you do after? Once you're done mayoring, if you're ever done mayoring,
Yeah, I timed it well. We were switching houses. We were moving to a new house, and I said, once we're in the new house, I won't drink. And I held to that. I drank up to the second that I moved the last item out of that house. And then it's that's it. Very ceremonial. So, all right. So, just super fast. I know, Nick, you got to run. One last thing. Anything you got left to say about the Elbow Convention or Grand Elbows in general?
Yeah. Honestly, come on down. It's gonna be a really, really good time. Come see who the next Grand Elbow is. And honestly, we got beers, we got food. Giovanni's doing food there. We got all the pretzels, all that stuff. It's going to be just a great time. It's going to be worth every penny of the $15 you pay for the weekend. So,
and Cody, give us one last little bit on it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of people there. Weather's looking good, so that's always a plus.
Yep.
We can't wait to see everybody. So
yeah, it'll be a ton of
exciting.
fun. And I'll be there drinking Diet 7-Ups.
Heck
over to Tim, last thoughts on this. How closing out, are you happy to be done? Are you ready to be done? Are you excited to make the wrong selection?
It's been a great year. I'm excited for everyone that's running. It does become like a little family, like a little bar family of all these Grand Elbows. I can't wait to see who I pick. Gonna get inputs from you guys.
And I think we want to say thanks to Tim. This has been sometimes you don't know who you're going to pick and how they're going to react, and you've done a really, really nice job. So we want to just say thank you from all the Grand Elbows.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
for sure.
I got a couple.
I apologize to all of our listeners for this entire episode. Thank you to Nick Weeks. Thank you to Tim. And thank you to Cody, the man, the myth, the legend of Sheps on 6. The younger version of the older is how I will refer to you from now on. Thank you guys for sticking around. Next week, we'll be back with the episode that I just recorded with the previous members the actual members of the podcast, the Councilman and Scotty Pizza. We're talking wrestling. We actually did a draft of our favorite wrestlers from all time.
Nice.
Who was number one overall?
Number one overall, I can't say because you got to listen to the
You can
episode.
tell us afterwards.
I will tell you that I picked a lot of people with face paint. I
Yep.
will say that.
Yep.
So
You
I'm
have to.
big into the face paint. So
Jake
all
the
right.
Snake all day.
All right, stick around for next week, and then following up on that, we will be getting back to 1995, the Be Kind Rewind. So go ahead and send us your picks for things you want us to talk about from the year 1995: music, movies, television, whatever it is, sporting, wrestling. I don't care. Bring it at us, and we will have that coming up as well. Until then, thank you guys.
Hey,
And
Thank
we're
you.
done.
thank you, Mayor.
Everybody knows what time it is.
Game time.
Game time. Who?
Right on time.
Hold on. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Game time.
Oh, I was
wait.
ready. I
Here
was
we go.
ready for it.
Everyone knows what time it is.
Game time. Who?
Tim didn't even say it that time.
Oh, we're supposed to wait 3.
it was 1, 2, 3, go.
So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna say game time. Who?
Got it.
So this
How
is
many-
this is now officially the end of
so
the
I was
episode.
doing it right.
You were doing it right. Here we go. Ready? Everyone knows what time it is.
Game
Time. Who?